Alright. Easier for me to do it this way than explain it any other way for you, because I don't like messaging. Alright. Basically, hopefully this marker works worth a squat. Alright, basically, well, of course the marker ain't going to work worth a squat. Okay, basically that's your camper, right? Stupid darn marker. Would be my luck the marker won't work. Alright, basically that's your camper. Hopefully you can see this. Alright. Now let me use this other pen. Alright. Basically that's your camper. Here. Well, that ain't working worth a either. God darn it. I ain't got nothing that works around here. Alright. Basically this is your wood stove. Wish I had a decent marker. Decent marker. Does this work? Maybe. Decent marker. Alright. Hopefully you can see this. Make sure I'm trying to stay in focus. My camera don't have a video thing where I can actually see what I'm watching. So if this don't turn out worth a squat, I guess I'll do it 3 or 4 times. That's your wood stove. Alright. What you do is, somewhere's in there, you can either do it on the outside or the inside. But you put you a tank up high, inside, like in a closet, upper part of a closet. Or you could do it outside, but then you'd be dealing with freezing, so you'd have to run an antifreeze. And down here, let's say this is your little heater, your car heater setup. Alright. What you do is, you have you a vent. You need like a three outlet style tank up here. You could use something like old air compressor tank, a little water heater tank, something like that. The lowest line, the lowest fitting, you want it to come out and go into your wood stove with a one-way valve in it. A one-way valve so the pressure can't backfeed. Then out of your wood stove on your outlet part, you would run it over here into your heater unit with your fans and whatnot. Then you run it out and back up into the top area. Or actually, you don't even have to put it in the top. It does help a little, but you'll get more of a percolating noise, really. Of course, either way you do this, you'll have probably a percolating noise. Okay, and that's your system. The water flows down by gravity, no pump, so that's less power requirements. It heats up, comes out, and runs to your heater unit, which I hope you can see all this. I'll zoom in where you can see a little bit better. You run into your heater unit. Of course, that'll cool it a little bit, but then the flow of this pressure not being able to backfeed this away will force it to go this away, which will force it to go through and force it to come up and go back into the tank. Now to run a non-pressure system, really I wouldn't want to run a pressure system because it's really more problems than it's worth. Is what you'd want is just to run a pipe out the side of the tank up in the very top, about running maybe a half full tank. You don't want to fill it all the way. You just want enough that it actually will flow and fill the system without overflowing. And then up high in the top of the tank, you'd have your pipe coming out and going outside of the camper. So any steam created, you will have to top off the system occasionally, but it's a lot better than dripping it everywhere. And steam would come out of that. Actually, if you put this system, the tank, close enough to the wood stove, you can actually use the wood stove piping to run the steam through the stove pipe, like a steam engine does, and it will actually, by what I've understood, it should better the burn. I don't know if it'll actually increase the heat to a point that you don't want. It's just a thought. This gives you a system that runs without a pump. The only electric needs into it would be the electric fans on your blower unit on your heater core. And it will circulate. Only downside I can see out of the subject is you will have kind of a coffee pot sound to it. It will percolate a little bit. So it will be a little bit of audio that you'll be hearing, but, you know, running that little pump. I've got one identical to it on my little rain cistern I've got out here on the cabin, and it makes a noise. You can hear it. At least mine you can. And it's outside in the tank, but you can still hear it. So I can imagine you probably can hear yours. Pretty much you just want to make sure you're running a tubing that can, one, not only handle the pressure, but also handle the heat. I'd say you've probably got pretty much that. You'd have to pick up a one-way valve. Most places that, plumbing places do sell it. I know Ace here in Tennessee sells it. I'd say you could probably get it there. If not, you might have to actually order it online. Here, they're running about $20, so they're not the cheapest component. The tank and everything, you might be able to actually pick up at a scrapyard or something nearby you for, like, change on the setup, for what it actually weighs. I like the way you're setting up your little solar and your water heater. That's a pretty cool way of doing it. Only difference I would do is where your wood stove is, being as close to the couch assembly. My buddy's got a camper just like that, and the only difference, he's running just the wood stove. He's not running the whole water system. He does have a water jacket sort of running in it for, having hot water in the camper. But he took the couch out and centered it, the wood stove, in the middle of where the couch is, and it gives him the room around it so he can actually burn it hotter without needing. He just got a regular one like you pick up at Harbor Freight, and his works just fine. Of course, he didn't run it through the ceiling. His runs up and then kicks out through the window and then kicks back up. Because actually, by what I've learned with wood stoves and stuff, if you have a straight pipe, you lose a lot of heat. And by having it kick over, and he also has a, what's them things called? It's a box with little pipes through it. That, it heats up and then a little fan blows through it. He's got one of those on it too. And it seems to work pretty well for him. It pretty much as cold as it's ever gotten here. He's pretty much stayed toasty. Because I've been down there before. But it's a pretty cool setup. This would pretty much eliminate majority of your problems. By not running a pressured system, you're not going to have any issues of the water pressure building up and dealing with the blow-off issue. You also, the steam going outside would keep it from blowing inside, and the one-way valve eliminates the pump. This is pretty much what I was trying to tell on the message, and something kind of came up and I couldn't finish the message. That's the reason why I just gave you my number. If you got any questions on the subject or anything, hopefully I can. It actually shows up on the camera. Hopefully you can at least get an idea of what, if you get at least one good shot of where it looks right, then, you can, take a picture or pause it or whatever. For anybody else that's watching this that don't even know what the world I'm talking about, here's a water system that you can set up in your house, camper, whatever. Yeah, you got any questions or anything, man, just holler back at me or, whatever. You got my number. All right. Hope this helps. On the solar system, you know, it really just comes down to, you know, your batteries or your storage, man. So, you know, the more batteries you can put in, the longer you got power for. So, of course, I say you already know that. All right. Catch you later. See you, man.